දැන් I'm going to speak little bit in Sinhalese. දැන් අපේ රටේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල නැහැනේ. අපේ රටේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල නැහැ. අපි දැනුම දන්නේ අපි ඇමරිකාවේ මොනවද කියන උගන්වනවා. දැන් හොඳම උදාහරණය තමයි මට තේරෙන හැටියට අපේ රටේ මෙඩිකල් ෆැකල්ටිස් නැහැ. දැන් තිස්ස විතාරණ මහත්තයා ඉන්නවනේ. තිස්ස විතාරණ මහත්තයා දන්නවා ගවර්න්මන්ට් එක කොහොමද වැඩ කරන්නේ. මොකද එතුමා මෙඩිකල් රිසර්ච් ඉන්ස්ටිටියුට් එකේ චීෆ් එකේ. ඒතකොට එතුමා කිව්වා මේ RNA don't force RNA messenger RNA vaccines, right? Then the person who was doing pioneering research in France on AIDS, he said don't do this for 5 years. But our country did it. Especially the medical community went ahead with the forced vaccination. What it means is that we don't have institute of learning. We bring syllabus or something, and because of our dependence on the Western system so much, we don't have university, we don't have medical faculties in this country, right? මේක කියලා වැඩකුත් නැහැ. මට තරහ යන එක විතරයි. Right? So this we have to create our knowledge. Now I am going to talk a little bit of America. Now America had something called the Glass-Steagall Act, which was to differentiate commercial banking from investor banking, and that act was removed. So what it means was, it was easy to do investor banking, right? That means if you do something wrong in the investor banking, you have to pay for it, not the government or the people, but because they have taken the barriers. Now there are some problems with the Glass-Steagall Act, because that came after so-called severe crisis in America in 1930s or something like that. It came, so it had to be updated, but they changed it. So one of the reasons why America is in bad shape is because they removed this. Then they had the Frank-Dodd Act, that with a lot of compromise. It doesn't work, the Frank-Dodd Act, right? Then America has something else also, that companies can invest in their own stock. So that means you inflate the stock, and because of the top people have these stock options, when they go, they pump money into, they buy their own stocks. So American economy is totally hollow, right? There is no kernel in it. The whole thing is empty thing. Then we had 2008 housing crisis. Housing crisis, as far as I know, as far as I understand the economists in America, came because of this. You had unlimited housing, loans were given without checking out, and it is the Chinese who rescued the Western economies. Chinese pumped in a lot of money. So at that point, Chinese didn't have a lot of liabilities. Now they have liabilities, and they will not rescue the Western economies anymore, because there is severe competition, and Chinese for the last 15 years they were getting ready to challenge the West. So they are going into gold. And now, if you want to know how this American system works, you have to listen to Yanis Varoufakis, something like that. I can't remember. I can't pronounce his name. The dollar works because all the capitalists in our country go and invest in our country or China or India or anything. They invest in America, and that's how the dollar works, right? Not because dollar is strong or something like that. That's the nature of capitalism. Now, I saw in our country our central banks are looking at, when you sell there is a large transaction, they are looking at it, how this is work, because some of this money is transferred using illegal methods abroad, and that's why and we are also told that some of the companies in our country don't pay their taxes. So we have both leakage of dollars and also leakage in taxes not collected properly. If you collect the taxes, then you don't have to go and beg from other countries. So that's a side thing. So American economy is in the very what I would call the not parasitic, predator case, right? Recently Americans lost about 1 million jobs. They hide it. They don't give the job statistics properly. And if you do something, then you probably would lose your job. And that's what Donald Trump is doing. Now, if you had the American economy, system, it was shut down for about 40 days or something like that. So what was the issue? You have these food stamps. They call SNAP, but it is food stamp. So Donald Trump refused to give money to food stamp. And according to Bernie Sanders is from Vermont. Earlier he was from the Democratic Party, then he left the Democratic Party and he's independent because Democratic Party mistreated him. So what he says was that what Donald Trump did was he blackmailed the Democratic senators, and he told them to them. Well, what is the issue here? Donald Trump didn't release money for the food stamps, and he said, "You just get rid of this because America spends something like 18% or 20% of the money on their medical system, right? So it's also a racket. The top companies earn money at the expense of the people. Now I saw that there was a drug approved by America, and this drug was created in Switzerland or some other place. That is for fat. If you are too fat, then there's a drug for that. And Donald Trump just allocated a lot of money to subsidize that drug. That is how the American economy works. Okay, so it is always the American economy always push the economy towards this predator level, at the top predator. So American economy now works for banking sector and the AI sector, and the AI sector is about to crash, and the Chinese, no country will come and rescue this, because Chinese are competing with the Americans. Chinese are going into a different system where they are going to bypass the dollar. So that means people who go and invest in America, they might have to withdraw those back, because that is how the system works. That system was, from what I understand, that Henry Kissinger bought about that, right? Because America was kind of bankrupt out of Vietnam. They used this petrodollar, and most of the dollars were invested in America, right? Even say I am a capitalist in Sri Lanka, then I have tendency to go and invest in America, because I am told that it is. So if you take the capitalist class, so-called capitalist class, they like to invest in America, whether you are in Sri Lanka, Hong Kong, but that is now Chinese have broken it. So my gut feeling is that some of the people who did illegal transfer of this money to America, they will have to bring it back unless they invest in gold. I have given a solution to the gold, but none of our economy, they are stuck in their own land, own way of thinking, so that they don't listen to other people. That's different. So this question of this RNA vaccine, messenger RNA vaccine. Now they say it can lead to cancer and things. They said that for female people, the vaccine has negative effects. There's a tendency for you to get heart attacks and things like that. So some of the things about the RNA vaccine will come after about 7 years or 8 years only, the real issue. And other thing is that when they manufacture this RNA vaccine, they don't use the method they got approved. When they manufactured in a very large scale, they use a different method. So that there is a severe problem with the RNA vaccine. Right? We will not know. Only after about 5 or 7 years we will know the exact level why these politicians are working with these vaccine companies, because there are a lot of profits to be earned there. Okay? So about the COVID thing, we will not know for about 10 years exactly what it was and how that was manipulated. Right? Now, the American economy, Chinese are not going to rescue it. The Russians are not going to rescue it. Europeans can't do that because Europeans don't have economy. They don't have much economy because they have pumped a lot of money into Ukraine and they want to confiscate Russian. They have confiscated Russian reserves, like $300 billion, and they want to use that money. It is not legally, it is not possible to do that, but they try to do that. Okay? So nobody can rescue the American economy now because Chinese are not going to come and rescue according to the economists. People who have done the economics as a subject, they said 2008, it is the Chinese they pumped in, and Chinese also a lot of liabilities, unlike in 2008. So they will never rescue the Americans because the Chinese thought that their economy was totally joined with the American economy. That's again this. That's how the capitalists work. Capitalists, when they earn their money, they like to go and invest in America. Not because America is safe and there, but that's what they have been told. Okay? So this time, the American economy has lost something like 1 million people. They are lost, and they are doing this gig economy. That means people are doing 2-3 jobs, and the middle class is getting wiped out. The American economy is at only 2 points. That is on the financial sector and also in the AI sector. But I consider the AI sector as a predator level, and I consider the financial sector also in the predator level. So there is no way you can rescue the American economy. Once it will falter. When the confidence is gone, it will falter. It's just a matter of time. Okay? So the Chinese have been transferring a lot of gold into their territories. They have built up the gold reserves. So they are going to a kind of gold-based economy. But they don't want to do it immediately because it will affect them. Because their economy is tied to China. Because this again, depending on this, the American domination in the capitalist system. Okay? Now I have said something about Syria. Okay? So it's a question of when the American, and you take the mega base, right? Make America great again. This because Donald Trump is controlled by the Israel, and there is a division. And like in our country, Indians were given special preference. In America, the Jewish people were given, Jewish establishment were given preference, and there is certain things are coming out. Certain practices which some of the Jewish firms are working against America, especially in the housing sector, and these things are coming out. In this country also, there will be a negative backlash against the Indians because Indians got special treatment, just as the Israel companies have got special treatment there. And because of this report on economics of genocide, there are going to be a backlash against the Israel companies in America. Some of the negative things will come out. In Sri Lanka, some of the negative things against the Indian companies also will come out. And things have been hidden, but it will come out, right? So these things always follow the same pattern. So we don't have economic crisis. We have to look where the foreign exchange leakage is there, and we also have to look at why some of the companies don't pay taxes, and some of the time these authorities don't like to go after these companies because they think they will close the company and go, then we will lose employment. So when it comes to, again I'll go back to America, Mandani was not supported by the Democratic establishment. Only few people supported him. This senator from Vermont, he's the independent senator, and few people from the Democratic, because they feared him, right? Democratic Party is run by the donors. Donor thing is a very corrupting thing in America. So if you take the Republican party and the Democratic Party, it is run by the donors. So when Mandani came in, the Democratic Party tried to get rid of him, just as this senator from Vermont. Okay, but now there is a backlash. The people in America realizes that both these parties are working for the companies. They are not, and they are. When you say company, it is at the very top. Either you have a drug against obesity or something like that, and Donald Trump will support that. Okay, it is not worry about health insurance, because health insurance cost is going to go up about three times or something like that. So most of the Americans would not be able to get this health insurance. And even a food stamp thing, Donald Trump used that against the Democratic senators, and he's trying to blame the Democratic senator for the shutdown. So he knows how to spin, but I don't think the people will accept what they are saying about this. Okay, Bernie Sanders, I forget his name, Bernie Sanders, and so Bernie Sanders is in the forefront. He's a Democrat, but he's now as an independent because the Democratic Party mistreated him. So the same thing is happening in Britain. Okay, and in that country also, if you take the Labour leader, then they labelled him as being anti-Semitic and they threw him out. Now he has a different party. So if you look at the political pattern in the Europe and America, they have a similar pattern, and the top 1% of the people control these parties. Okay, so Bernie Sanders and I forget the Labour leader. Okay, he has also new party. So we are going to have a severe crisis in the West, and that would be the point of changeover. The West has been dominating for the last 520 years or something like that, maybe a little bit more. We are going to have severe dislocation, and some of the dollars which went to America, there will be reverse flow. Okay, so a lot of Democratic people, politicians, afraid of Mandani because he broke and he just challenged the whole Democratic Party, not only the whole party. So these certain things are happening. Certain things it's time. It's a good time to study, but there will be a lot of dislocations and a lot of people will suffer. Okay.